Alright folks, hello and welcome to another league. Last day of testing with a Green White Reclaimer. We're trying a couple of new cards here. UR Prowess, basically a proxy Primeval Titan, just the one hit, but very often that's exactly what you need. And then a Realm-Cloaked Giant, which is a card that I saw Darkest Mage testing the other day. And I always thought about it, basically somebody suggested a couple of times, and it's just one of those cards that I always kind of had in the back of my mind, but I literally never came around to testing. Same thing with Baneslayer Angel, which is another card that it's been in the back of my mind for a while. It was apparently very good at beating the Shadow decks, but then the Shadow decks kind of went down in popularity, so I never really got around to testing the card. I wish I had. Just put in 4 and 1. Yeah, one thing to watch out for this is this doesn't kill Uro, it doesn't kill Uro, it doesn't kill Primeval Titan, and it doesn't kill Kroxa. Those are the relevant giants in the format. I think I like this hand. It's a little bit on the awkward side, but seems resilient to me. We can go turn 1 Temple, tapped. Turn 2 we can hold a path, or if we find a green source we can call. Turn 3 we can Dryad. Yeah, I think I like it. Don't forget about Stone Hewer Giant. It doesn't kill Bone Crusher. I guess Bone Crusher is actually relevant, right? I imagine Bone Crusher Giant is a giant. Maybe it's like Dryad, which is not a Dryad. Ooh, Dredge. Reclaimer. It's not a Reclaimer. That's not a bad. That's not the worst draw, actually. So now we can Steve on 2. And then Dryad just catches us back up, unless my opponent has a really good turn right here. It needs to be kind of a messed up turn. Okay. Don't have a reunion, 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 don't have a reunion. Got tired. Don't have a reunion, don't have a reunion. Okay, so they dredge the imp. I wonder if Shrinkhorn should see play in other decks besides Dredge. Well, you can hose Belcher with Shrinkhorn, right? Keep saying it, that's how it works. Yeah, I kind of got tired. Don't have a reunion, don't have a reunion. Are they just gonna Ox here? Because that would be kind of messed up if they just Oxed here. I told you to not have a reunion, opponent. What are you doing? Opponent's just out there having their reunion. Oh, no, they just Oxing. Okay. I have no idea what they dredge. They dredge 3 cards, 3 cards, and 5 cards. So Imp and Loam times 2. They have another Ox. Damn it. Oh, Dark Blast. That's what they dredged. Loam and Dark Blast. This plays into Dark Blast, but I guess it forces them to use the mana, which means that we can't get oxed. Target player mills 2. That's a crip and chill. But wait, there's more. I'd say my turn was better than theirs. You think so? I mean, next turn we can do stuff, right? We can Dryad plus hold up path. Huh? Huh? It's pretty good, huh? Loam Hills Mesa Gorge. It's so annoying to keep up with their dredges. So best draw in the deck is Bootcamp here, because Boog actually allows me to slow them down. What's up, Twin Listening? How's it going? How sad would I be if they managed to feel that? Not very, honestly. My card is messed up. Doesn't it say in the game log? No, it doesn't. It's pretty stupid, honestly. Are you allowing me to game 5? I'm into it. Game 5 sounds good. I guess they're just setting up a conflag. Actually, if we draw Bootcamp, I think that we might be heavy favorites to win. It's not a Bootcamp. Silly deck. Got confused. Gave me the wrong card. Here's my Dryad, here's my land, here's my other land. We don't get to trigger. So both mountains are gone. My opponent attacks, we're pathing here, we're blocking here. The Dryad is dead to the conflag anyway. So basically we force the conflag. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 5. I guess we're alive for one more turn, and if we top deck exactly, no, actually there's nothing we can top deck because both of our land center tapped. I think it was more important to hold up the path than it was to mountain, gorge, mountain. Guess we're just getting conflag ready here. Theo John, thank you for the follow. We can draw our, yeah. There's nothing we can call for though, which is unfortunate. Okay, so they ban their entire hand. We have to draw exactly our. But if we draw our, we actually stabilize. It's kind of insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we draw our promise, we actually get to stabilize here, which is insane. Our path. So we can call for Dryad. Doesn't do it, huh? Call for Dryad, we get 2 triggers. We get to kill... We die to chill off the top. My opponent still has 2 chills in the deck. 3 chills in the deck. How do we stabilize with our? We get we play our land for turn, and then we get Bojukebog, and we get Bojukebog plus Radiant Fountain. We survive their attack in the air. We go down to 2, and then we exile their graveyard. Yeah, so this is just lethal. This is not how we're fighting this game, right? Call for Flame Bloom. We're still dead to the Ox that was in the yard, Andrea. If only we had Remorseful Cleric. Yeah, we're probably not playing Remorseful Cleric. I think we just don't sideboard. Wins. So the thing is that this kills Blood Moon. So that's why I like it better than Path to Exile. I'm still not excited about it. I don't think Eidolon does very much. Maybe Knight of Autumn. Again, an answer to Blood Moon. It's not a card that I'm excited to draw. Is Precision not good enough in this matchup? I mean, it is the least bad card. It's better than Path to Exile. What is the reason of ramming up main deck? Ramming up main deck allows, first of all, allows you an avenue of victory game 1 against Tron. Tron is a very bad matchup, and Ghost Squatter plus ramming up plus Dryad is a lot more mana efficient than casting a Titan, and it's something that can happen. That is realistic for it to happen because of Elvish Reclaimer being able to tutor for your Ghost Squatter. So that's one of them. Ramming up has a lot of value against Flagstone's deck. Flagstone's deck meaning the Flagfire's deck, the one that Spike has been killing with. There's also a lot of decks that play Field of Ruin as well. And finally, well, okay. Okay. Cayman, Charmander, thank you for the follow. Natty Bog, question mark? Maybe. Yeah, sometimes ramming up allows you to hit multiple land drops when you have a fetch land. And it's particularly relevant. Like sometimes if your opponent has like Meddling Mage on Titan or something like that, or you just don't have enough mana to call for a Titan, sometimes calling for a ramming up plus a couple of fetches gives you enough Valakut triggers to get a win. I'm playing the Flagstones here instead of playing the Scattered Groves, mostly because next turn I'm probably playing this Bog regardless of what my opponent does, just so I can copy it with Vesuva. And we might get some value on the way, which is nice. When testing a deck, do you think it is useful to create a spreadsheet? I mean, I think you can create a spreadsheet. I don't know how useful it is. It's not something I have been doing. Well, now that they missed the land drop. Just gonna play Scattered Groves. But yeah, at one point I was working on using spreadsheets and stuff, and I got lazy basically. It's a lot of work to keep up with a spreadsheet. Clearly my keep was perfect. Just gonna do the same thing, I guess. We could cut Ramin up. The thing is that I don't think there's any other cards that I'd rather have instead of ramming up, so. Van Heffing diagrams, hell yeah. That's some exciting stuff right there, Shana. With a deck like this, it would be good because you could see which toolbox cards you need to add to the deck. I mean, yes, but even keeping a spreadsheet, like it's still a lot of work. Well, this hand is perfect. We got Splinter Twin. We got multiple Dryads. Name Elf. The only thing that we don't want to see here is obviously the 1 mana discard a card nonsense. What's the name of that card? So they found a Thug, which they will very likely Labax. No, Lightning Axe. Okay. There goes the Thuggerino. No Amalgam is nice, also no Walks. Also nice. Merchant of some shit. Opponents normally don't make you play out the win combo or just concede. It makes sense. Yeah. Testing in the day was just getting good players around me and running specific matchups over and over. Yeah, those were the days, you know, when everybody was not stuck in their homes. Those were the days. Should I spin a trio really? Because you need 3 lands. Well, I mean, Splinter Twin needs 2 lands too. Needs 4 lands. Pfft. Actually, Splinter Twin is a 6-card combo. Nonsense. Completely unplayable. Don't kill my dude. Just don't do it. God damn it. Remember when I said that I didn't want my opponent to have a card? That was the card that I didn't want them to have. Crap. Play around Blood Moon, I guess. It's crazy that this deck is more for the Kermit deck than a Titan deck. Well, it was built that way. Just like Lady Gaga was born this way, this deck was built that way. There it is. Oh wait, they dredged. What did they dredge? Oh no, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they dredge Imp. Should probably in the deck. As long as there's no reunion or there's no Ox, I think that we can be okay. That is what I want to avoid at all costs, basically. Let's get a basic forest. Again, the idea is that we're playing around Blood Moon for whatever reason. Boom, boom, boom. Just play the Valakut tapped, because next turn we might want to, if this Dryad resolves, we might want to maybe call for Druid or something like that. Okay, no Dredger is kind of a big deal there. We might be able to stabilize. Have I played much Reclaimer Elves in Legacy? No, I have not really. They showed me Dark Blast. It's possible that they just sided out. I guess I'm just gonna block the price I'm logging on. Just let it Grimes into the deck. I don't even know what that is. Oh. Oh. Well. So the bog trigger goes on the stack last, then we kill this, and we kill this. Okay. That our promise card is alright. I understand why you're not, because I'm playing around. My opponent showed me Lightning Axe, right? If they have Lightning Axe and they kill my Dryad in response to all of that, we lose the game, right? Because that means I don't need to get I cannot get zombies, so I cannot stabilize. I don't get to exile their graveyard. So this is the safer play. Even if my opponent does nothing, we end up with, even if my opponent does have the card, we end up with 3 zombies in play, and they don't have a graveyard, so they cannot get back an Ox. And we are still winning next turn regardless. Not sure why they wouldn't have cast that already. I don't know, but like I'm playing around my opponent's few outs at winning this game. Like I think that now I'm far ahead enough that I can afford to do this. Particularly because I know that I have the call in my hand already. Like I'm just gonna call for Titan next turn, and that's gonna be the game. So I just feel like I'm far ahead enough that I can afford to do that. They had Lightning Axe, they would have 100% cast it before they attack last turn. Unless their hand is weak and they need to hope that I cheese myself, basically, right? Which I feel like they are. They are pretty far. They're far behind now, so they just don't have that many cards. Maybe this is me being. Maybe this is me just being extremely cautious. But I think that we're just far ahead enough that we can afford to. I don't know. Yeah, our opponent has been good so far. Yep. In the one match that we played it over the other card, it was better. So proving its worth a little bit. This is not a situation where we'd lose if we don't go for the win. I disagree. If they just have if they find the knocks of the mill and they just like get a bunch of crippin shields, I die. Because we don't get the zombies to stabilize. And we're not answering their board. Anyway, it made sense in my head, and I think that we were far enough. We're far ahead enough that it made sense in my head. But yeah, maybe it was incorrect, and I should have just. Yeah, this is not a good hand. Also, not a good hand. Weird hand. Kind of okay, but not very good. Let's do that. I was in college. I have not brought the Titan in yet. Opponent had no outs in that situation. I think so. Might as well respect the harvesters where they have axe. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my point. That was kind of my point. Like, I don't think I'm losing the game if I go for the line that I went with, right? We're just playing around my opponent, just playing around me having it, you know? Seems worth it. Opponent is an Italian dude, you know? Okay. Probably playing Thing in the Ice. Right. Not great draw so far. If they fetch for a basic island, okay, so maybe they don't have main deck Blood Moon. They definitely have sideboard Blood Moon. Thinking of getting out of Shadow IRL. Is Grimgar Reclaimer better than Amulet? Saying better is just objectively a mistake. I don't think that you can realistically say that a deck is just better than another one. Like, they are contextually better. They're better against different decks in different contexts. Of course, we get severely punished for... we get super punished for keeping the path over the Skyclave operation, because we probably just have to call for operation here. The good thing is my opponent plus their Jace, so they didn't get a hit on cards. Unfortunately, I don't think I can go fetch Dryad here, because it doesn't kill this. And we keep drawing blanks, which obviously doesn't help our chances. Opponent Titan of Beaches back for Azusa on turn 3 to play an EE, and only left 1 G and 3 non-G at the end of the turn. Brutal. They must have been new. Is there a way on Magic Land to see what your opponent bottoms with Jace when searching your library? No, there isn't. Actually, there was an argument. There was an argument for playing the Plains before that, and with the trigger on the stack pathing my own Skyclave. That ramps me, and that also means that my opponent doesn't get a 4/4 when they kill this. Which could potentially be relevant. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing with this path otherwise, right? So... sure, let's attack. If they want to trade a Snapcaster for this, like, I probably have to take that. Stomp. I could have pathed, again, I could have pathed my own dude to deny them the Bone Crusher Giant, but I don't think it's worth it. Probably saying that things are not developing in the best possible way is an understatement, but we moved to 5 and we drew a land every turn. We drew a land or Steve, which is also a land, so not excited. Not excited about what we have going on here. Dryad, please. We probably have to pass this illusion, which feels really bad. But now that I have the cavern, I just need to give myself time. This dude is gonna beat down though. Do you like lands? I do like lands. That is true. God damn it, this doesn't even... Ugh. We have not drawn a single fetch, so playing this just dies to bolt. Feels bad, man. I guess it even gets controlled by Archmage's Charm, which is even worse. Maybe I should have held this. Yeah, they're gonna steal it with Archmage's Charm. Good old dice to bolt unplayable. Well, it doesn't have to die to bolt, but because of my current mana situation, it does. And now we also die to bolt. I have to assume my opponent's playing Blood Moons over there. Give me these. Probably give me 2 of these. Cut these. Generous Gift seems good. I have not seen what's his name yet, so thing in the ice. So I'm not gonna assume that my opponent has it. We still have Blast on to answer it. It's a little bit slow, but Paration answers Moon. Not loving the Florahedron. I guess I'm not loving Ramming Up either. Let's go with this. Maybe I should be bringing in Night of Autumn because of potential Blood Moon, but I think I'd rather have Apparitions here. Maybe Ramming Up is fine if they play Wildfire. Yeah, I'm playing around Blood Moon, not Wildfire. Turn 1. Sure. Turn 2 call, turn 3 Dryad. We might not even turn 2 call. I guess if they tap out, I'm going to. And we probably call for Spring Bloom. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Well, I'm playing that one now. I force my opponent to have Lightning Bolt. I was not excited about calling anyway. Bolt. Yep. Maybe it gets mana leaked. Remand would be bad. Yep. Would have much rather this get mana leaked than remanded. We jam again. Aether Gust. Gust was actually a fine exchange there. Ooh, okay. Talk to me. So we play Dryad first. Bogum. Probably gonna draw 2. They do nothing. Well, we probably don't have to play around Boil, huh? Are we jamming Titan? I don't want to jam Titan. Guess we pass. Yeah, we call EOT, but I don't even know what I'm calling for. This is a great exchange for us. UR Reclaimer for camera. Reclaimer just dies to a lightning bolt. That sucks. Professional Magic player. Professional Magic player right here. Right here. Right here. I think we just double field here, huh? We worry about Ghost Quarter later. For those of you wondering, Ghost Quarter is to prevent the Mystic Sanctuary lock from happening. Anyway, it's not a bad Reclaimer. They would have played second Bolt and Dryad, not 5 in Snap for Bolt. I don't think it's that good either. Anger of the Gods. Serum Visions. I still remember when Serum Visions was a modern staple, and not only a modern staple, but also it was like a $15 card. Those were the times, chat, remember? Those are some good times, honestly. So we're going to... We get to hold up that. Oof, we do. So this basically, they need to tap and draw, because otherwise they just lose. So this is a forced play right here. Tap all creatures, draw a card. So second main phase, what we do is we do this. And I think we get Bounce Land to replay Bog plus Ghost Quarter. So that way we have two ways of preventing the Cryptic Lock from happening. And then we still have Generous Gift as even more insurance against it. Memo, Flaxens was an obscure $3 rare. How times have changed. My opponent fetched for just a tad too many basics for my taste, which makes me think that they do have Blood Moon. That being the case, also they showed me Spell Snare, which means that Celestial Purge is a little bit less exciting. Probably can't Explore. Seems okay. Flaxlands was like 20 before the reprint. Yeah. Then it was $2 for a while. Sure, let's keep this. It was like 20, then it became like $2 for a while, for a long time. And then now it spiked back to 20. Gonna be getting some mana fixing the hard way. Turn 2 thing in the ice. Nope. Yeah, unfortunately I have to go get a green source here. Keep this. Get Scattered Grooves. Not excited about the prospect of a Blood Moon in my future, but Celebi. Yep. Not much we could have done about this. The only thing that we could have done was getting a second basic plains for the potential of drawing the other card. The thing is that if we draw one of our basic forests, we're kind of good to go. There we go. Fact Bloodman and Neobrand, yeah. This channel does have a pretty specific theme. We're gonna hear the call. 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 That's the call. Awkward. Yeah, my command game is on top, John. You know that. My command game is definitely on point. Gonna have to draw out of answers eventually, OP. Gonna have to draw. Too bad that we also have the Flaxstone, so we can't even represent the boil. Like it's just bad. God damn. Ugh. That's so bad. Ugh. Going to this card is so bad. Going to this card is just so awful. Yeah, I guess we just have to go get Florahedron. Oh, did I side it out? No, I didn't. Awesome. Sure. Why not play Flagstones? Flagstones is a legendary land. And because there's a Blood Moon, the clause where you go get a plains, it's not a thing. So I would basically be discarding a card. Okay, so now next turn, I guess we can call on end step. And next turn we can Knight plus Boil in the same turn. You see how we sacrifice our land there? Can make Reclaimer into a 3/4 here, which is nice. I'm gonna just go score to your Flagstones. Wow. Top tier place. Seconds. Ooh. 2/3. Play Dryad. Green 1. Steve. Green Reclaimer. Play second Flagstones. Reclaimer becomes a 3/4. Go. Oh, I could have just cast a Titan. No, I couldn't. I needed the Dryad in play. Yeah, so I couldn't just cast the Titan. I'll trade. Yep. Isn't it awesome when you Blood Moon your opponent? One, two, three, four, five, six. 6-6. So do we need to have exactly double lightning bolt again? Yeah, I feel like I'm trading here. They can Bone Crusher this. Or Bolt, yeah. That's fine though. Purge that. Easy clap. I think I have been beating more Blood Moons than I have been losing to. Ooh. Playing against Vatutinha, the Brazilian end boss. Except we're playing him when we're only 2-0. Just playing round 3. Mackenzie, can give a follow. Brazil versus Argentina, exactly. Love to see it. Damn it. Batutinha has been playing all sorts of decks lately. The mid-game boss. Yeah, let's mulligan this. Ooh, let's keep this. Yep. He's been a reclaimer lately? Hell yeah. I know that deck. Fortunately, I'm smart and I'm mulligan for Splinter Twin. Oh man. Yeah. Reclaimer? No reclaimer. Just use this turn to call for Titan. Spring Bloom. Busted! Reclaimer being popular really hurts my unique snowflake game. What is that, Shana? Straight up getting 2 basic planes. So we call for Titan here. Set that up for next turn. Play this, play this. So you go. So they need to have an answer to the Dryad now. Oh, they do. Skyclave. Yep. Skyclave's so hot right now, just like Hansel. Skyclave, so hot right now. Oh, they have their Dryad. So if they have a Titan, they're gonna win. They're down 1 card. So we're gonna get second field and the Valakut. And we're gonna hope that my opponent does not have a Titan. Not that we can do too much about it anyway. Oh, the last card is Path. Okay. So what this does is it allows me to get something else if I want to. I think I'm still getting the same thing though. Because I want to make sure that if I draw a call that I can call for Dryad and it's gonna be good. I see I'm getting... Yeah, I just call Valakut plus field. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we don't die to call. We don't die to call. But we do die to Primeval Titan. I mean, we don't actually just die, but we're probably gonna be pretty dead to it. And we have to erase here. Like this is not getting better for us. We definitely have to maximize the amount of tokens that we get here. We're already dead to Titan, so we are going to be able to go squatter ourselves if we need to. There was also an argument for go squattering their field. We go squatter our own flagstones. We get 2 more triggers. That is 4 more zombies. They block this 4. We swing for 14. Yeah, this should be lethal, unless they have Path. Yeah. Okay. So we attack first. We force the issue. We attack first, we force the issue. If my opponent does something, we just call for Dryad and kill them. Why not Flagstones plus GQ? Oh, you mean why didn't I do this on the previous turn? Because I don't even know what I was drawing. And if I wanted to, if I would have found a call, then I would have wanted to call for a Dryad, and then the Flagstones represents a Valakut trigger. Locker Flow Kig. Okay, Dismember's great. Generous Grift is fine. Mind Sensor, Night of Autumn, Boils. Shape 2 Dryads. Winds of Abandon. Cut Bujuki Bog. Cut Florahedron. Cut Explore. kind of want to keep this hand nonetheless. This hand loses to... Yeah, I'm going to keep it anyway, but this hand loses to even Mind Sensor. Untap green? Nope. It's bad, man. Feels bad, man. Remember when I said that this hand lost to Mind Sensor? God damn it. I think we'll probably call here. Hoping for the best with... Remember when I said that this hand lost to Mind Sensor? Oh, on the play I want... I think I don't want boils on the play. Rather have paths. Maybe cutting path is just wrong. Like, Mind Sensor is just so brutal that we just have to just eat it up. Locker Floki with the Prime sub. I don't even play Titan decks, but your streams are still the best stuff on here. Thank you so much, Locker Floki. Really appreciate your support. Do you switch Generous Gift within every league just to keep the pundits guessing? No, I always go for a Generous Gift because this doesn't get either gusted. My opponent very smartly playing around Mind Sensor. Because we're missing land drops and I cut Florahedron, which also might be a mistake. I don't think it is though. Yeah, they definitely have Boil over there. Because we could go get Celestial Sanctuary here. That would give us 3 untap mana for next turn. Interesting, but they can't Titan next turn. I'm gonna represent Boil, even though I don't have it. My opponent doesn't know that. crazy how everything revolves around the possibility of Mind Sensor. But like that card is such a blowout that you just have to be playing around it all the time. So everything just happens sorcery speed, which is hilarious. Okay. Call for Dryad. Can beat that. Okay. So I think we main phase activate here. Get another Flagstones. Say go. Oops. Just need to skip the Dryad. My opponent cannot get up to the 6 line, so they're not going to be able to get a trigger. So this prevents their Titan from killing me. So we're going to be able to Titan first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Titan mana right here. Okay. If you're wondering why I'm not just going for Boil, it's because why I'm not going for Dryad is because I'm playing around Boil here. So they can't activate Reclaimer because I have the Mind Sensor. I'm gonna help force them to have the path. They don't. Good. No path there is huge. They still found 2 lands. Feels bad, man. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. There's no way this deck can play 1 Battlements. I mean, you can. Is it worth it? I don't think so. We have the Mind Sensor. I think we're calling anyway, so I might as well do it right now. We're looking to draw an untap land. Yeah, we need untap land. I guess we go get Ravenebek Severa to play around my opponent's boil. Untap land is Poggers. Is this lethal? This is not lethal, huh? This is not lethal. We can clear their board, but it's not lethal. Why did I play the land first? Because I needed to play the land to have the Dryad. So this is 12 plus 2, it's 14. So I guess because it's not lethal, we go after the prime time. And this guy. So we try to win on board. So they boil, but they can't Titan in the same turn. No, they actually can't boil plus Titan. So if their hand is boil plus Titan, we're pretty fucked, but we still have the Mind Sensor. And then we also have Raminap. So we can get some value for prime time. So we're probably gonna get boiled here. Addition of apparition makes this deck more mobile heavy, so no, that's just fine. Yeah, this is a lot better than Amulet, obviously. We beat Infect earlier today in a match that Amulet would have never won. Apparition takes the Dryad. No, the Mind Sensor. Oof. If they have their own Dryad here, we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, Apparition takes the Mind Sensor. And we lose to them having a Dryad. I guess that we couldn't beat a Dryad from theirs anyway. Yeah, we couldn't beat a Dryad from theirs. Alright. We lost. They get second Valakut, they fetch. I guess they still need to have a land, actually. So they might need to blow up my board. Wasn't the Valakut triggers from you 12 damage? Yeah, but my opponent would have had a Primeval Titan and an Elvish Reclaimer in play. Well, they can GQ themselves. I guess that's one more trigger, but that's still 15. That's not... That is not 16. So my opponent will need to kill my Dryad and probably my Primeval Titan, but that means that they can't kill my Reclaimer. I guess Reclaimer doesn't do too much, huh? And they're gonna get to untap with Dryad. So we need to top deck here. We need to top deck. Yeah, they're going after the creatures, and rightfully so. So we need to find an answer to the Dryad, and we might win because we have a board state and they don't, but they have a Dryad. So if we don't find an answer to their Dryad, then our board state doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything. We can go squatter their Valakut, but they still have Vesuva, do they? They don't have Vesuva. Turn Timber by an hour? Yeah, I guess in this situation it would be, yeah. Yeah, quarter bounce is what I'm thinking about, but it still doesn't stop them because of what I literally just said. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I was thinking if I cycle and I can find exactly Dryad. So I guess that's my out. That's not an out. What I mean, if I can find my own apparition, which I have 2 apparitions and 1 Knight of Autumn that I'm drawing towards. Yeah, if we pass the turn, we die. So we have to cycle Scattered Groves. We have to cycle Scattered Groves. That is the out. And we have to find exactly a path or just one of our 5 answers to Dryad. No, that doesn't do it. We could have Blast on the Reclaimer. They just go squatter themselves. That is 2 triggers. Yeah, I guess that was an option. I guess that was an option. What they do here is they go get Vesuva, copies Fountain, and they replay 3 times. Yeah, we're just dead. And my opponent's gonna go for it because if this were a path, I would have already pathed before I left the Reclaimer on top, right? So. Sure. I've been losing so many mirrors. Feels bad, man. So we were dead along. No, I mean, if I had found an answer to the Dryad, we were ahead because we had more mana, and we had Raminap. The call for example lost that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought that I wanted to be mana efficient and play around my opponent having Mind Sensor. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're 100% right. I threw that one there. I was trying to think ahead, and I was trying to think of what would the game be about, and I assumed that it was going to be about just making sure that we hit our line drops, but my opponent had the answer to Excavator and the second Dryad on the same turn, and everything just went to shit from there. So I just needed to be a little bit more careful there. This is fine. I'm gonna bottom the Explore. Because we're gonna be doing the Reclaimer thing. Yeah, I guess I should have saved the call, but I didn't. At that point I was trying to imagine how the game was gonna play out, and I mean, needless to say, the game did not play out the way that I was envisioning. So yeah, I was given the cards, but I used them wrong. Okay, so this is probably mono red. Brazil remains undefeated against Argentina. The Brazilians have my number. Burst Lightning? Yeah, it is Prowess. There's no Chain Lightning in Modern, so... Probably gonna be calling for Florahedron here. Just to hit our land drop. The good thing here, and why I do like Reclaimer, is like my opponent is forced into like these awkward scenarios where they cannot develop their board because they have to be, instead of deploying threats, they are just bolting mine. So we get like this early free turns, quote unquote, where my opponent is not developing before because they are taking care of my dudes. What's up, Sadiq? How's it going? One is gonna light up that Sage again. What are we calling for here? Unfortunately, I think we have to call right now. Because we're gonna be super short on mana. So I'm gonna probably play Dryad unless I call for exactly Druid. We could call for Excavator, which gives me 2 land drops next turn, in order to come a little bit back into this game. It's 2 life though. It's 2 life in order to get those. Alternatively, I can just call for a Titan and just hope that we just hit land draws, but that doesn't seem particularly realistic. We could also call for Druid. Because I think that Excavator, like if we hit all of our land drops, the field is going to allow us to sterilize, but that's 4 life. That's way too much life. I don't think we're gonna be able to afford that, so I think I'll just have to go for Spring Bloom. God damn, I'm good. I'm good, chat. So good at this game. So good at this game. So freaking good. Oh. Blue red, huh? So I was considering pathing my own dude here, but now that I see that they're on blue-red instead of mono-red, I think I want to save this path for one of their bigger dudes. One of the drakes or the fairy. We just cut Gargoyle, yeah. Although I'm not too upset if we top deck the Wrath here either, right? The Wrath is probably gonna be okay. Okay. Yeah, the winged dudes are the problematic dudes. Those are the dudes that we don't want to see. The ground dudes are fine dudes. Okay, so they probably have a Reveler. That's why they're discarding their hand. Interesting. Definitely would have loved for this to be Valakut, but it is what it is. Things not looking great, chat. Things are not looking particularly great right now. Opponent kept on top. It's pretty scary. Pretty scary. Yeah, they're just like wasting Genic growths left and right. So this has to be a Reveler right here. This just has to be a Reveler. To refuel. Yep. Why is it last day of tuning? What's happening tomorrow? Well, the event that I'm tuning for, Freddy. I'm tuning for this event, and that event is finally happening tomorrow. Makes sense, yeah. Exactly. Bold. My Dryad. Okay. Suckerland, kill the Dryad. Okay. We're gonna be doing some chump blocking. So if we call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we find call, we can't find Titan. Second path is brutal. Now we get super punished. Not looking good here. Not looking good. Top of the deck is not being kind to us. It was kind on that turn where we top deck Flagstones in the nick of time, but it's not looking great right here. Can do some eating in the meantime. My opponent's at 7. My opponent is somehow at 7 life. That's how us looking. That's how us losing looks like. I don't like this, chat. Pretty dead here. We're in danger, yeah. The worst thing, actually, do we have to path both of these? So us winning, how does us winning look like? We top deck exactly prime time. Yeah, we have to path the other dude too. I was trying to figure out if there was a way that we could actually stabilize without pathing there. Playing a lot without art is bad. It's much easier to miss in the graveyard with the MH1 art on frame. I mean, this is the correct art to play. Yeah, the stage was pretty lit up, I'm not gonna lie. They're playing 3 basic mountains. That is important information. Wrong frame. I mean, if you want to be sketchy and you want for your opponent to like miss the fact that you have a lava duct in the graveyard, then yes, that doesn't help, but probably, I don't know, seems shitty to build your deck in a sketchy way on purpose. The good thing is now call is a live draw. But they have another flyer. Yeah, that's bad. That is... I think that is dead. Yeah, if they have light on the stage. Fortunately, there's a rule. That is rule number 1 of 4.3a. Which says that a player may concede the game at any time. So we're going to make a pretty solid use right now of rule 1 of 4.3a. All 4 paths to exile. That's really funny. Was that actually back-to-back all draws of path to exile? Because that's pretty funny. Oh, there was a fountain, you're right. Almost. Should I cut our this matchup? I think so. We want all of the removal. Operation is kind of awkward because it doesn't kill the 5 mana dude. And leaving behind the creature is actually a big deal in this matchup. It is an answer to Bloodman though. They should like in this this kind of matchup, you want to draw exactly one Primeval Titan, and the second Primeval Titan is very often just a bad draw. Also, I just realized about the synergy here. This is good deck building, chat. This is just good deck building. Joy has a big butt, so I like it. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Was that Michael's tech? Yeah. He was here and he suggested it. So far, I have not brought it in. So I guess that means that I'm happy that I'm not main decking it. Guess we just cut Steve. Guess we just cut Steve. We could cut Call, but yeah. We have removal, we have turn 1 Reclaimer. Why that over a cheaper Wrath? Because this Wrath we get to call for. Because it's a creature. The beauty of the toolbox deck. Oh, we're actually 2-1. Okay. Opponent moves to 6. So we force them to have the bolt here, which they do? Question mark? They do. Flame Slash. Because that answers Dryad. I think we take this, right? Yep. We could get Eidolon here. Eidolon is super big game, actually. Yeah, I like Eidolon a lot right now. Eidolon is big game right now. Basically, my opponent needs to have Flame Slash, or they are never able to keep up with this. Not blocking here, obviously playing around Lightning Bolt. It means that they can light up the stage, but they cannot play the cards that they get off the light up the stage. They can play lands, though. So maybe that's a reason to... Maybe that's just a reason to block. Eidolon. Okay. Yeah, we play Reclaimer there, I think. And... 15, so I might as well attack. So if my opponent attacks, I block with Reclaimer. They're gonna kill Reclaimer on end step. Yep. We're gonna be pathing this, I think, because that blanks the light up the stage that they have on exile. Gives them a land, which I'm not excited about, but the modern why playing the Silent instead of Core Firewalker? Because they are different. Bleako is back. They do different things, and they are there for different matchups. Like this is great against decks like Storm, Oops All spells. It's actually pretty solid against the control decks, against the Omnath decks. You get to slow them down a lot with this Eidolon by limiting them to one spell a turn. Like this is not just a hate for this matchup kind of card. If I just wanted the Prowess hate card, it would be that. It would be Core Firewalker. Do you plan on putting out a Reclaimer Cyber Guide for this weekend? I'm probably gonna work on it tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to be done with it, but yeah, my opponent is telling me no. He's letting me know in chat that they're actually struggling with some lag issues. So they were restarting Moto. Unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do. I'm just taking the shot at, just chilling here. Blanking this light up the stage is gonna be nice. Nice. Do I play Commander? No, I don't. I like 1v1. I basically am too competitive of a player. The whole politics aspect of Commander just irritates me to no end. But yeah, I like to I like to be rewarded by playing well, not be rewarded because I am good at only being good enough to not lose and to not too good, because otherwise you have a target on your head, kind of stuff. So Canadian Hardliner, is that the one where everybody just plays, like everybody just plays a one-off and it's 1v1? Because I think that's cool. All the cards being one-off, like I do like formats like that. But I don't like the multiplayer aspect of it. Huge +1, yeah, I know. I assume that you probably, yeah, Commander is a board game with magic cards. That is 100% true. Like I do understand the appeal of it. It's just not for me. It's just definitely not for me. But I do understand why some people do like that kind of play. You can play Lotus and Lurus. Yeah, it's vintage Highlander with a points list, so your deck isn't completely bust. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. It's a fun format. Oh. Well, now I'm not pathing this. This Eidolon is destroying my opponent. My opponent is getting owned so hard by this Eidolon. Lurus isn't pointed? Well, that's silly. Yeah, people are talking about a Canadian Highlander. I guess I do want to Skyclave here. I haven't played it forever. Yeah. Burst Lightning face. My opponent's like, okay, enough of this nonsense. Operation Sick here. LGS used to do it weekly. Well, you live in Canada, right? So. Wow. Well, that call for Eidolon was a good play, I guess. Calling for Eidolon was okay there. Was pretty alright. Then we just submit the same. Dredge is in such a weird spot in this matchup. Like it's a big body, so it's good, but it doesn't give you card advantage, and if your opponent just removes the Dryad, then it's kind of tough to come back from. How do you feel about this one? I think I'm gonna keep on the back of double removal, but this might backfire real bad. Odyssey is 41, think about follow. Hopefully we find the green source here. Not the best. Yeah, my opponent is having lag issues. They told me in chat that they are struggling with that right now. Okay. Again, they keep the one lander. Another Swift Spear. Spurge one of those. Brutal. I mean, I really don't want to win one of this, so I guess that we just play here and we pass. Why did I purge? Because I don't want my opponent to be able to... I want to use my mana, right? And I want to save my life. I know that I have Blast Zone, but that means that I'm taking more damage that turn and I'm taking more damage this turn as well. Like, I basically use this as a 2 mana gain 3 life. It also means that next turn, instead of blast zoning, I can just go Dryad into Reclaimer. which forces my opponent's hand. I'm not necessarily excited about blowing up my own land, right? Like, I'd rather, you see, like, my opponent's using mana to, like, kill my Dryad and stuff. Here we can path and take 2. I guess I don't want to path. Yeah, this turn I am cracking Blast Zone, so I guess I might as well chomp here. To gain 2. Yeah, path with Woodman. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah. Oh. I guess that's cool. So now we can get 2 zombies. Like right now we would be at 4 if I hadn't purged on that turn, right? And we would be, if I had Blast Zone, we would be 1 land behind. At this point, I can even path my Undead. We might still lose here, by the way. We might still lose here. Yep, if I hadn't purged, I would be actually dead. Do I care about pathing my own dude? I kind of want to. Because it allows me to... It allows me to call for Titan. Yeah. Just fucking dead. This time I'm just blowing up Blast Zone here. So I'm attacking there because I want to close. Just dead to a lightning bolt. Dead to Lava Dart. Just dead to most of my opponent's deck. Yep. Wow. All right. Well, that felt awful. My opponent won with 1 land. My opponent won on 1 land. Nothing else needed. Hey Mr. Suri, how's it going? Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Welcome back for the 4th month. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you, thank you. Are you planning on playing in the event as well? I'm not digging this guy. I'm not digging this guy. He's not doing it for me. MC Force 23 with a prime sub. Thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Thought you could pass Blast Zone, pass and crack it on their turn instead of casting Purge, but that's no, that's not how it works. You're missing 2 QPs? Oof. Get on that grind, Mr. Seri. Get on that grind. Opponent. Today is honestly the first time that I've been having a lot of trouble with the finding opponents thing in the modern leagues. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I have failed to find the right... Like, we started the stream and I spent like 2 minutes waiting to find an opponent. That never happens in the modern league. But somehow... Opponents are sleeping to rest, but they're hitting okay. They're hitting okay, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm just going to go do something else. Just like... if you hit okay... Just like hit okay. God damn it. They're half asleep. That has to be it. Is this the 3rd time that this is gonna happen? There's no way, right? This reminds me of like the one time that I was playing a little bit of 1v1 Commander, like the 1v1 Commander leagues, and I had to wait for 42 minutes, I think, for an opponent. Might have already said it, but where am I from? I'm from Argentina originally. It's getting hot in here. Well, my opponents hopefully show up. I'm gonna turn on the fan. Now I'm gonna be the one that takes my sweet time before I click the join match button. I could be clicking it right now, but I'm not. I'm not, you see, chat? I'm not clicking it. God damn it. Oh, finally, jeez. I'm gonna be the one to miss the button. Fortunately, I didn't. I figured it out. Figure it out. All right, turn 1 Reclaimer. Okay. Against the red deck again. Feels bad to shock here, but I think I have to. Warlord's Fury. Because that's a card that I guess it's modern legal. If they bolt my guy, I think I'm pathing it. Crash through. So this means now I get to call for Steve. Steve blocks and gives me a land. And then we untap and we UR Prowess. Is Golas playable on this deck? It was in one of the original lists. How well has UR performed? So far so good. It's been cool. I was playing Turn Timber over the UR, and I'm not sure which one's better. But UR has been legit. Block, get a Snow Forest. And now so we just UR for field and bounce land, bounce and replay this. Sanctuary field. Stack our triggers properly. Bounce this. Replay this. Team Timber seems so bad today. Interesting, Rodrigo, because it was very good for me. It was very, very good in my testing. So I do find it very interesting that you're telling me that it wasn't good for you. Well, fuck me, I guess, huh? Turn Timber as a base with life, land looks awful. Usually you're able to sequence it in such a way that you don't pay the life. And when you do, it's because you're casting a game-winning spell, so it's not that bad. Usually it's... But it has been very relevant, and the upside did come up multiple times. The upside of just, you know, being able to get a Titan. Wow, we just died. Cool. All right. Well, remember when I cut the Gargoyle for this card? I'm not liking it anymore. I'm not liking it anymore, Chad. I don't want it. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Squatter can go. Ramming up can go. When we with less than 6 mana, it does not let you chain Titans. Well, this doesn't let you chain, like nothing lets you chain Titans. I think Baloth might be good. Yeah, Baloth is what I was playing. I was trying the Gargaroth today, and we didn't bring it in any matchup. And then, just like clockwork, as soon as I cut it, I bring in, and for this card to try to test it. This card just never came up. And the Gargaroth would have been good. They would have been like a fine tutor target a couple of times. That's like testing for you, basically. I like to cut Reclaimers. I know you're against, but that's what I do. Yeah, so I explained what I think about Reclaimer is that if you turn one the Reclaimer, you're forcing your opponent to have the answer right then and there, which means that they're not putting a threat into play. Also, like when you're cutting this, you're cutting your win con, right? I mean, let's do that for science. This is how I used to sideboard when I was just starting off with the deck. This hand is mildly awkward, but I guess I'm keeping it. And we'll keep... how am I gonna be doing this? I guess Knight on bottom is the one to go. Probably gonna be calling for... Oops. Oh no, this is fine. We're gonna be calling for... Spring Bloom on 3. Now, because of this, I think I'm gonna play Eidolon. I'm still getting Spring Bloom here, I think. Because it basically undoes my mulligan. But instead of playing the Spring Bloom here, I'm just going to play Eidolon. Makes my opponent's hand so awkward. Unless they have exactly Flame Slash. Oh, they just did that. Sweet. So now we know that we can block safely. Forest and Plains. And Grove. And I guess I bog them. Sure. Pass the turn, obviously. When you mention the old border calls, Goldbox sold out instantly. That is hilarious. We can attack with Eidolon. Because if they play a threat, they can't heal it, right? And now we just call for Titan. And call for Titan should be lethal. Unless they have Boil. There's no way they have Boil, right? Both games that I won were on the back of Eidolon, just slowing my opponent down to a crawl. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna do the same thing here. Calling the Reclaimers. Let's see if this works out. Boarding Wet Ball. Nah, I don't think it's that good. The thing about Eidolon is that we can call for it, right? I don't think I would like Wet Ball as much. Oh, also one minor thing is that when we cut Reclaimers, like Flagstones is not a shit land. Interesting. Probably gonna have to pass this dude to play around, light up the stage, I think. we find lands, please? Nope. Flex number 1 is still good with Springbloom. Yeah, I mean, and you can just recycle the Flagstones, right? So it's not that big of a deal, but it's not great. Calling for Springbloom seemed way better than Explore. If we don't find a land, right? Otherwise, we can call for Springbloom in the same turn. Also, there's the possibility that I just cannot call for Springbloom, right? And I just need to call for an answer to this. Which actually might be what's gonna happen here. Pineapple is thinking about the follow. Also, Explored allowed me, like, I didn't know what that my opponent... I guess I had already used the path. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna call... I think I have to call for the... Maybe not the knight, but I'm gonna call for the other thing, for the... the apparition. Because the knight can come in clutch later in the game. The thing is, I guess I just need to draw land. We're in rough shape here. This guy looking very bad. Yeah, okay. This turn is actually pretty rough, I think. I guess we have an answer to the moon, so we would like for my opponent to play a moon, actually. Yeah, I knew what I was gonna do, but I was trying to figure out whether it might be better for me to sequence, like to copy something else or to try something different, because again, I don't know. Okay, so they tapped out of that guy. So I think we have to go find an answer for that. It's just too much damage. The what? Yeah, I have not been liking this one. Maybe we are not playing against the matchups for this one, which is possible, definitely. Yeah, separation. Okay. Snow-covered forest. I'm doing this because I don't know if I'm gonna have to purge this guy. And if I do... Oh, wow. Well, that's an amazing exchange for me. Any giver of runes you'd like to wrath against, I think? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I'm gonna wrath here. Well, that sucks. Play another one, play another threat. That's worse for me. The reason I'm tanking here is if I need to make a desperate move, I could purge the Reveler here and untap and hope that I find an untap land for Titan. So basically what happens is if I Wrath here, my opponent draws a card, they find a Swift Spear, and I lose, right? So I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can prevent that from happening, but I don't think there is. I think this is just what it is, and we just have to, yeah, we get a little bit... this is the card. Get a little bit punished there, but... Because also the prime time would allow me to prevent my opponent from chaining Revelers. Seem to not have a threat. Because otherwise they would not be cycling these cards. Giant is better than Gargaroth versus the decks you want either. Well, against this one, there are very many situations where I would rather have the Gargs, right? Let's get the tapped land. And now we cross our fingers. They didn't have Reveler. They didn't have Reveler. So we can maybe get Bootcamp next turn. I think that we try to prevent to not just die to burn. So we get Fountain plus Sanctuary. That means that we don't die to Double Bolt. Gargs wouldn't have that much. Well, it would have if I had purged the Reveler, right? Field Fountain. Yeah, that's the other thing that I was thinking of. It's either Field Fountain or Sanctuary Fountain. Because right now, my opponent has a Lava Dart in there. That's hiding over there. So if I get just Fountain, we die to Double Bolt. So I'm trying to see how much I should value the zombie tokens, but I think that the zombie tokens are actually important because the zombie tokens are what would prevent me from dying to a Swift Spear. Yeah. So I guess we go for this, and then next turn we get probably Bootcamp plus Bounce Land. Oh no, we just have the Triad, so I guess we get that. So we lose to Double Bolt. My opponent seems to be flooding a little bit over there. Yeah, we have the Triad, so if we untap, I think we're going to be able to set up lethal. And what we won't be able to do... my opponent's complaining in chat, so I'm assuming that we should be fine. Yeah. All right, sweet. All right, another 3 and 2. I like this. I don't think I'm too high on this guy. It's probably better than Gargaroth, but I don't know if it's better than Baloth. I guess let's fire up another league. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.